All right, everybody, welcome to another YouTube video. And with all of the talk about inflation, CPI, people are probably like, what the heck is that? I wanted to talk briefly about it. But before I do that, there are 4 simple things that I want you to do if you're getting value out of my videos and my content. First, like this video, use little thumbs. 2, subscribe, little thumb task. 3, hit the bell so you get alerted when new videos come out. Another little task for your thumb. 3 tasks for your thumbs. And then lastly, share it with your friends. I think more people need good financial education, and I'm here to do it and just release new videos as I'm able to. So with that being said, here's what I want to focus on today is what is CPI? CPI stands for Consumer Price Index, and it is a basket. It represents kind of a broad basket of various items, categories that the consumer will spend money on. And what we're doing, and what you're seeing, that 9.1% number that was talked about yesterday, which this is being recorded on July 14th, 2022. This, I think people don't understand the context of that. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the categories first of what goes into it. If you want a complete, thorough list of every little subcategory, it's on the Bureau of Labor Statistics website. You can go on there, just search for it, and you'll find it. But there's a bunch of little subcategories that go into each one of these main categories. So you just need to know that. And just before you say anything, it probably does not add up to 100%. I rounded, so just know that. Food is 15% of this. So 15% of what makes up the overall measure for inflation is attributed to food. So think of things like restaurants, groceries, all of that stuff will go into it. Housing is 40%. Now this is a big deal because rents, obviously, anything related to housing is going to be lumped into that housing category. But you've seen big increases in rents, and that will be a big driver in inflation because housing is such a big component of it. Next, clothes. Small, 2.5%, but it's there. Next, transportation. Now, transportation is another big one, and people talk about the record high gas prices and all this fun stuff. But you have to understand what the context of that is. The context of that is that most of that is going to be gas, which 5% of that 22% is gasoline. So 5% of the entire CPI is gas alone. So fluctuations in the gas prices can really affect it. But everything else in transportation, think of like car payments, car prices, parts prices, all of the other components make up that other 17%. So remember, 5% is included in that 22. It's buried in that. So next, medical, 7%. Think about medical procedures, hospitalization, stuff like that. We have education at 6%. It's a little over 6, but I rounded it down. Then we have other at 3%, and then recreation at 4.5%. And again, I know these numbers don't add up to 100, but I'm rounding. So this is your kind of your main list. And I want to say that yes, they can change the weights every 2 years, I believe, is what they can do, and they'll change those weights based on I think it's just consumer surveys and stuff is how they do that. But this is what makes up the CPI. And so when you hear the numbers, what you're hearing is this. And I'm going to erase this because this will make more sense. Okay? So what you're hearing is, first of all, you're hearing year over year. And so what they do is they take those weights, they take those. So if last year, it was $1, now it's $1.09, like it's up 9%. So this is what you're getting this is going to be 9.1% increase. So that if this was, June of 21 and this is June of 22, this is what you're getting. You're getting this difference here. So just understand that's what's happening there. And so you have to put that in context of, in June of 21, we didn't have a lot of inflation. So what I would expect as inflation increased later in 2021, you're probably going in, and I think gas prices are coming down a little bit. This number, when you look at like August 10th, will be the next one, you'll probably start seeing it come down a little bit, which is a good thing. And then you'll see the next one you'll see is month over month. So what they'll do is they'll say, okay, here was May, and here's June. And that one was 1.1%. So that was a 1.1%, and that was in a month. So yeah, it's a big jump, especially for just 1 month of time. So what does that all mean? Well, it means we have a period of high inflation, and what that generally will do is that's going to force the Federal Reserve, which is the United States Central Bank, to increase interest rates, to do things to try to reduce demand. That's what they're going to try to do, and you see that they'll probably raise interest rates again here in a couple weeks, and again, like they're trying to tighten and make it harder for people to borrow money, harder for businesses to get loans and stuff, and they're doing that to reduce demand, which should ultimately help reduce inflation. That's what they're going for. So this hopefully is helpful, and it gives you a little background on CPI. If you have any questions, please let me know. Happy to answer them. You can also follow me on Instagram at mdeepcpa or on Twitter mdeep_CPA.